Hello, my name is Faith. How do you do? How do you do? Sorry. Today, I'm going to review my favorite albums. I've had some requests to do some music reviews, and I'm really keen on doing that. So today I'm going to share with you my favorite albums of all time. I'm going to try not to take too long explaining why, but some of these albums have nostalgic feelings for me. Others are just genuinely albums that I find musically genius. Let's do it. I hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Number one, pretty popular album I think, and I think a lot of people would know why, is Mezzanine by Massive Attack. I'm gonna put that there. I think every song on that album is its own journey, and I think the way they do kind of mixed media and the kind of, not only the content of the songs and the way they have a sort of poetic lyricism, but it's also that there's a lot of diversity in terms of the different artists that they've involved, the different instruments they've used, the different BPMs. They go kind of across the spectrum within one album, which I find really amazing, and I think its listenability is all the way up there. I think it's really good to re-listen to. If I were to give it, I think I'm just gonna give these ratings. I mean, it's hard to say because obviously I love these albums, so it will probably be on the higher end of the scale anyway. But if I could give Mezzanine a rating, I would give it 9.5 out of 10. Definitely. The 0.5 with Mezzanine that I won't give it is purely because, and I can't remember the name of the song now, but there's one song in it, very repetitive. And I'm like, I can't deal with how repetitive it is. But that's more my own sensory thing. The next album that I really like is, again, another really popular one, classic. I think it's a classic. I think it had a real impact on music. Kate Bush's Hounds of Love. I think it's an incredible album. And I also think that she's involved a sort of dramatic storytelling ability in these songs. Under Ice is one of the tracks on there. It's haunting, it's mysterious, and it kind of walks you through bliss to panic to kind of resignation. And I just think every song on that album has an emotional journey like that. I think Kate Bush has got an incredible voice. And again, I'm sure loads of people know that. But yeah, it's definitely one of my all-time favorite albums. And that one I would give probably a 10 out of 10. I have no notes. I don't think anything could have made it better. So there's this artist called Fever Ray. You might know their songs from a movie called Red Riding Hood by Catherine Hardwicke, who's the director of Twilight, the first Twilight. There's a couple of Fever Ray's tracks in that movie. It's Fever Ray's debut album, so it's just called Fever Ray. Again, it's got the kind of similar darkness and complex storytelling that I think Hounds of Love has too. Production and the instrumentals and the tracks underneath it are also really well produced, and they really get you bumping, while also navigating this kind of darker story through the lyrics. Definitely one of my all-time favorite albums. 9 out of 10. As her music developed, it got better. And the next one is by a band called Alt J. Their music has always been a sort of nostalgic experience for me, and I've always felt an emotional resonance when I've listened to a lot of their music, more so their older stuff than their newer stuff. The This Is All Yours album, I think it's a really, really cool album. It has both slow and fast tracks that can kind of take you on a bit of an emotional journey. I think that's cool. They're also all classically trained. You can tell that the music is very complex and layered technically. So not only is the music really accessible, I think, for listeners, but it's also technically really impressive. So I would give This Is All Yours, I think I'd give that 10 out of 10 too. I like every song on the album and I have no notes. Moving on, I think I'm gonna butcher the title of this album because it's not in English, but it's Proxima Estación by someone called Manu Chao, who's bilingual and he speaks 8 languages, and he speaks loads of languages in all of his tracks. That whole album is very nostalgic for me because I spent a summer in Italy basically just listening to this album over and over and over again. It's just really relaxing and it's really upbeat. There's kind of funny moments. I like to feel rhythm in my body, and this album really brings that out of me. Proxima Estación by Manu Chao. Next, 3 Imaginary Boys by The Cure. I love The Cure. They're one of my all-time favorite bands. I think that they had a really strong impact on what we would call like soft rock, gothy, kind of moody stuff, like Deftones kind of stuff. But Three Imaginary Boys is a really, really good album. Every song on it is really, again, maybe this is my consistent thing, but the really well thought through lyrics. Music is such a good opportunity to tell a story. I feel satisfied when a story is being told, and one that grips me, you know, something intriguing, interesting. The only reason I will give this album an 8 out of 10, which is my lowest score yet, is because one song on the album called Subway Song is short. It's about 2 minutes something. One of my all-time favorite songs, but there is a fuck off massive jump scare at the end of it. And as someone who really hates loud noises, when I first heard it, it jump scared the shit out of me. And I was in public. It was not good. And the worst bit is that when I'm trying to listen through the whole album, it's like, oh yeah, I'm having such a good time, and I forget about the jump scare. And then it jump scares me again. So, you know, The Cure lost 2 points just because of that one song. But the rest of it, love it. Amazing album. Would still recommend. Just be careful at the end of Subway Song, please. Next is Comfort to Me by Amyl and the Sniffers. They're a really cool Australian rock punk band. I actually saw them live. I also saw Alt J live. I forgot to mention that. And they were amazing. They were incredible. They were even better live. Saw Amyl and the Sniffers live, and they're also amazing. Their energy is awesome. They are just as good live. Comfort to Me is a sort of, it's the album after their debut album, and I thought that they really honed their sound. The first album was great too, but I think in this particular album, they really kind of carved out and sort of polished what they were going to sound like, or what they do sound like. So it was really cool. My rating for it is 8 out of 10, only because there are some songs on it that I would give or take, whereas the other ones that I've rated maybe higher, I've listened to all the songs on the album, or like would regularly listen to each song. I love that band. I think they're great. Next, Next is Confessions on a Dance Floor by Madonna. The production is incredible. Yeah, I think that loads of the songs on that album have been sampled in newer tracks. And for me, it was very nostalgic because my mum used to play that album in the car on some of our school drives when I was younger. So it's got a very special place in my heart. I'd give that album 9 out of 10, but only because I can't remember all the songs. I haven't caught up, I haven't listened to it yet. Maybe when I re-listen, it'll probably be 10 out of 10 again. But for now, 9 out of 10. Last but not least is The Slow Rush by Tame Impala. I really like Tame Impala, I think he's great. The Slow Rush, again, quite similarly to what I said about Amyl and the Sniffers, I think he really carved out his sound in this album. The tracks on it, on The Slow Rush, are longer. I don't know his name. Mr. Impala, I think he spent a lot more time experimenting. I felt that the album was a bit more pushing the boundaries of what instruments you can involve in that genre. But I also feel that he's kind of in his own micro genre, so that's really cool. Good job, Mr. Impala. Mr. Tame Impala. Sir Tame. These were my top albums, and there's my review of them. Go check them out and tell me what you think. It'd be great to hear what you guys think. Or if you know them, drop a comment. I hope you enjoyed this. If you would like more content like this, please do let me know. I will see you in the next video. I hate this part, but please do engage with my content. Bye.